This is Zane Carter with WKRUG Public Radio for a misty, creepy little mountain town. You know, Mariana's cookbooks, the ones I wanted and claimed on air, and someone bought, they appeared in my house. No sign of forced entry, and nothing was taken, so thanks, I guess, to whoever broke into my home to leave me those cookbooks, and for doing some of my chores, like washing the dishes and putting them off, and, doing my laundry. And more important news, several people have vanished. Luckily, none of them have been children, not since the Holmes boy back in September. For adults, have been taken by the forest and are likely never to be found again. Though, children and teens are likely to find pieces in the spring. On a related note, the people we thought lost forever to the fog have returned. They're a bit different. The kids especially. But it's something that happens, and it's too far to pinpoint what exactly is different about them. We'll keep an eye on them and report as the situation develops. Christmas and the winter solstice are approaching with the speed of a train, which means the annual feast to thank our surrounding forests, rivers, creatures is mere days away. Each family is reminded that they are required to bring at least one offering for the shrine and one dish for the feast. Just as a reminder and possible suggestions, Faye love sweets and cream and anything shiny. Be sure the offering is an odd number. Faye are partial to the numbers 7 and 3. They hate iron, it hurts them, so be careful not to leave iron jewelry. The tree spirits and sprites have odd love of bloody meat and blood pudding. Oh, and bells. They really like bells and wind chimes. The demons, or maybe they're just creatures with red eyes, no one has ever risked finding out what just to call them. We just call them the bush demons. Anyway, they adore dog biscuits. The ones that live in the bushes behind my house leave me dead birds and rabbits. Even left a baby bear once. If I leave an offering of dog biscuits and ginger snaps on my back door before taking the rest of the biscuits to the main shrine. It all depends on your local demon's taste. Mariana would leave brownies and birdseed with her biscuits, and forest demons would bring her elk or moose once a year. I wonder how big the strong and whatever the red eyes really are. What are they? And now we're on to traffic. There seemed to be some kind of rock slide or something because it's been reported there are multiple large rock piles blocking the roads all over town. Some rock piles block both lanes of traffic. Crews are doing their best to clear the roads, but expect delays and employees calling out for the next few weeks. Sorry folks, I got a message from a friend telling me that they've seen Stacy going to the clinic every day for the last week. I wonder what STD she has this time. Poor Howard. Community calendar. Monday, Preacher Alexander will be going from door to door collecting canned goods, dry foodstuffs, and offering materials for the homeless and less fortunate. You, of course, don't necessarily have to be home to give the goods. Simply leave them on the porch or kitchen table. He'll get the donation whether you want to give or not. Tuesday, the Foxfell Theater will be showing holiday classics such as The Grinch, Krampus, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa's Sleigh, Bunny the Killer Thing, and Charlie's Brown Christmas, and other things. Wednesday, PTA meeting in the gym to discuss large prices. I see a red typo here. It says large prices, but I assume it says lunch prices. I'm reading a cue card. The senior trip and fundraising ideas for the next year. Students must go to argue and plead for clubs, forbidden books, and banned classes, which will most likely be ignored, but you kids can try. Thursday, police draft letters will appear in your mailbox. Don't ignore them. The police will still come and collect their new draftees. Those that aren't drafted will continue on as normal, pretending friends and family aren't disappeared, only to appear to give them parking tickets and choices of a bleak future. Friday, Belladonna Cafe and Books will be hosting a game night. There will be classic board games, such as blackjack, poker, and Cards Against Humanity, or the Tamer Apples to Apples for kids, and a game system or two set up. There will be free coffee, and one of the newer employees is offering tarot card readings. Oh boy, what fun! Saturday is empty of motivation and hope. Sunday, avoid the gazebo. How many times do we have to warn you people? Some teens were lost to it last week. Now, a word from our sponsors. Sales! Everything on sale! Sales as far as the eye can see! Shop Wally Mart! I'm just reading how the cue card tells me I need to read it, honestly. Take it away, Skylar! Well, today, it's almost winter, folks, and the temperatures are steadily dropping, which means ice and snow, and a lot of it in the near future. I hope everyone has plenty of jumpers, blankets, and stuff to keep you occupied during the winter months. Winter is the perfect time to learn or teach a new craft or skill, like knitting, knife throwing, quilting, weaving, mask crafting, or even crochet. It's also a good time to review the old rituals and information on the creatures that have lived beside us for centuries. Learn yourself something you can show off at the next Summer Melt Festival. There are these clouds that don't look like clouds. Just everyday cumuluses. Back to you, Zayden. Listeners, Liza, the cute short waitress at the Mediterranean Bistro, called during the weather. She currently came back from the fog, or so we thought. She called to correct me on the assumption. Liza made it through the fog the first time, and continued on with her camping plans. She found something interesting. Here's what she told me had happened. Liza was hiking on one of the older overgrown paths on the north side of the mountain when she came across a pond. She said it was as wide as she was tall, but oddly deep and clear. At first, she wasn't completely sure what was in the bottom. It was blurry from the water, and all she could see and make out was that it was a dark blue-green and covered entirely of the pond's bottom. Then suddenly a storm started to roll in, with winds so strong it blew the water out of the pond. Not that she noticed at first. Liza told me she was panicking and trying to tie herself to a tree she had stumbled into because of the wind. Once she was actually done trying, the wind, but the clouds rambled threateningly overhead. So then, she had to try and untie herself, which took a bit once she had the knots a tad too tight. When she was finally free, it was starting to rain lightly, and she noticed the pond was clear of water, leaving a hole and a green-blue door. Too curious and wanting to get out of the rain, Liza climbed down to the hole and knocked. The door was answered by a small, adorable creature with a round face, pointing ears, and dark curls. She couldn't tell what it was exactly. She said it would have been rude, and rudeness can get you killed with the fair folk. Also, he invited her into tea, and it was a height of rudeness to ask if your host has such personal questions. Then she lost track of time. For several weeks, the little creature was a wonderful host and asked her to tell people to come visit. He gets quite lonely in this hole, that deep in the woods, all by his lonesome. To sweeten the deal, his cooking is to die for, according to Liza. She brought home some cakes and sweets that her roommate was going nuts over, who was squealing and gushing so loudly that I could hear her clearly through the phone. Liza told me she would post the coordinates and directions on her Facebook and share it with the station for those that want to visit Perry, the cute little creature that lives in the hole in the north side of the mountain. Sadly, Liza doesn't know what happened to those that are actually lost in the fog, though she noticed the silhouettes that inhabit the fog seem to be much happier, dancing and singing a hauntingly loving song that sounds very familiar to those that she couldn't remember hearing before. Anyway, us here at the station plan to send Mike, Mitch, Misha to meet Perry and politely ask questions and bring back snacks. But the weather is too unpredictable, and I don't want him to get lost or anything. Lyle offered to go, but he's so small and fragile. I don't want to lose my favorite intern. Mitch, he's a good intern, but he's Allie's favorite. Maybe I'll visit Perry myself in the spring. And now that I have Mariana's cookbooks, I can trade recipes with him. Well, it's been an interesting day, listeners. I wonder what tomorrow will bring. Hopefully, great things. Good night, dear listeners. I'll see you later.